we'll go ahead and do a quick recap here before we dive into the session. Let's see. Let's see if we can remember 2 weeks back. Geesh. Oh boy, let's see. There was a whole section where my audio was breaking up and you guys didn't hear Strahd's monologue. I should post it somewhere so you guys can read it. But he arrived in Valakai as you were battling vampire spawn in the streets. Vampire spawn that had been released when you went into the coffin maker's workshop to retrieve the bones of St. Andrel. One of the vampire spawn had grabbed the bones and taken off running through the streets. You chased him down. And right as you had captured, or almost captured, the bones back, Strahd arrived and was able to charm Mara into delivering the bones directly to him. He subsequently destroyed the bones and said a bunch of things and left. He had kind of given you the task of, actually let me bring this up here. I created a little landing page for you guys to take a look at in Roll20. He gave you the task of finding someone named Tatiana and delivering her to Castle Ravenloft. And this little landing page here, I borrowed from someone who built it online. I added a few things to it, but essentially it shows you, a map of what you currently know to be Barovia. Valakai is circled here in red. The Vistani camp here in the X marks the spot. And then I brought in some of the quests that you had been tasked with. Of course, your original quest to find Esmeralda and deliver a sealed envelope to her. But you had escaped the city of Valakai as it plunged into chaos with vampires ravaging the townspeople, and essentially total chaos occurring in the city. You had talked your way through the gates on the southern end, and you had made your way back to the Vistani encampment, where you found the camp midday to be shuttered up, and you subsequently politely broke into the hovel of Casimir, and you took a long rest there, recovering from a pretty crazy day, fighting vampires, escaping the chaos of Valakai. You had encountered some sort of an undead creature on the road as you escaped Valakai, and had a brief conversation with that creature. And yeah, so we'll pick up as you sort of end your long rest. You all feel rejuvenated. It's about 8 p.m. and as you sort of start to stir in the small cabin, Casimir's cabin, that's where we'll begin.
I want to look around Casimir's place to see if there's any evidence of Thalamir.
You had done quite a bit of investigation before you rested, and you did. No, yeah, you did. You did not find anything relative to Thalamir.
Right. And I'm remembering that I set a trap out the door. I want to be sure and grab that before we leave.
Okay. So you walk out the front door and start gathering up the trap. Takes you a few minutes, but you're able to pull it up and dust it off and repack it back into your pack.
As I'm looking around or doing that, I'm checking to see if there's any evidence of people creeping around while we were sleeping or anything. Make sure everything is.
Roll a perception check.
That off my character sheet, huh? Yeah.
Anybody else want to roll a perception check?
I want to cast locate object.
All right. We'll do that next. Stan, you
All right.
You hear voices faintly Marzen, you don't
Not
hear
near-
him.
Got it.
Not nearby voices.
Yeah.
They're close by, like I should be alarmed, or they're a ways off in the distance and
They're
and whispering, or
no. You just hear
Way
like
off.
people talking
Dark.
at normal volume.
okay.
Whether or not you should be alarmed,
well,
that's up to you.
I'm gonna let the other guys know. Hey guys, there sounds like there's somebody coming, somebody around, and then I'm gonna go back into the cabin quick, make sure I got everything, and keep an eye on what's going on.
Okay. Shannon, what did you want to do? Mara?
I wanted to cast a locate objects, but if he's there's something else going on here. Maybe not.
Okay.
I get my bow ready just in case I need that.
I'm sorry. Did Stanley tell us that there's somebody out there?
I believe he did.
Then I'm gonna hold off because I need some time to look for whatever it is I'm gonna try to locate an object for. And if we're gonna get into it with somebody, I need to be ready.
And we're down the hill in one of the cabins, right?
Yeah, you're in Casimir's hovel, at the base of the hill, essentially. And you're all inside right now because you went back inside.
How far away is it to the woods to cover? Is it a long ways?
It
Is it a big
is
field?
probably, I would say it's, give me a second, let me look at the map. I would say it's about 120 to 150 feet to the woods. I mean, this is a pretty large clearing with a central conical hill in the middle, atop which is the Vistani encampment. There's a large tent. There are a number of locked up wagons that form a circle around the tent, and then around the base of this hill are 7 of these hovels that are built into the side of the hill. And if you were to go directly out the door of this hovel, it's about 120 to 150 feet to the woods.
Guys, there's somebody coming. It could be Vistani. I don't know. It'd be
And like,
cooler
what direction did you hear the voices coming from?
they were ways off. It sounded like people talking.
You think it might be the Vistani just coming back?
That'd be my guess.
You wanna?
We get out of
I
here.
guess I'll try to just hide and be, kind of keep an eye out, see who is approaching.
You're going to hide inside the hovel there. Go ahead and roll a stealth check if you'd like to. Oh, yeah.
You cut out a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you feel pretty good about your stealth check.
All right.
Watching out the door. Can I see anything? With,
Nope. All you see is open, kind of grassy knoll that leads out to the forest in front of you. You can't really see from your position inside this building. You can't see anything but out the door. You'd have to leave the building to be able to see anything else, really.
Because I kind of want to go outside and see what's going on.
Okay, so you walk outside, out the door, and which way do you go to check out?
Somewhere where there's some cover, trees, heavy brush, somewhere where I can stash myself and stay out of sight.
All right. There are no trees, but there's a building which you're currently standing next to outside of, and there are some small shrubbery around. But if you'd like to roll a stealth check, you can go right ahead.
want to go very far because I'd like to cover the cabin, but I want to see what's.
Well, yeah, you can use the cabin itself as cover if you'd like, and just kind of peer around the edges. There are some very small shrubs on this hillside, but it's pretty clear of any trees. There's no trees.
That's what I meant for mine too. Not hiding inside the cavern, but like peeking around the corner to see, using the cabin as cover.
Okay, so you guys are both outside. Stan and Marzen are outside, sort of peering around the corner, and let's see.
The clock's dark yet?
It's getting dark. It's 8 o'clock essentially. So it's been 8 hours since you sat down for the rest. So it's definitely getting into evening. You can hear quite a bit of activity now that you're outside of the hovel. You can definitely tell that it's coming from on top of the hill. And as you peer around, you can see a little bit of light glowing from the cracks beneath the tarp of the large tent that sits atop the hill.
We tell how many people are around? Is it like a
Not
dozen,
from where you are.
Like 2?
Not from where you are.
Okay.
I'll try to sneak closer.
Okay.
And I'll kind of whisper to Stanley, like, "Hey, you want to try to get a closer look?"
I do.
Okay.
Right.
So you start
you
start to creep your way up the hillside. Yeah, go ahead. How close do you want to get? So essentially, the top of the hill it's about 100 feet to the tent. It's about 80 feet to a couple of these carts, these wagons that circle around the tent.
I want to kind of low crawl and get as close enough to where I could hear a conversation that's taking part.
Okay, so that would probably be up near the carts because that would give you the best cover as well. So right. Yeah, if you want to, whoever wants to do that, roll a stealth check.
And I want to try my new spell. I want dark vision.
Okay, sounds good. So let's see. Great. So you and then make sure you keep track of your spell usage on your character sheet. All right, so you cast your spell, Stan, and immediately your vision changes into almost like this strange grayish view. Everything sort of lightens up, but it's not in color. It's definitely gray, and you can see very well in this darkening light up to about 60 feet, and it's a pretty neat sensation. And the two of you make your way up. Let's see, Stan, did you roll a second stealth check for me?
How do I note my spell on my character sheet?
Open up your character sheet, go to your spell page.
Type it in.
And then Dark Vision is a level 2 spell, so where it says 2 and then it has like a little toggle switch, you got to go down to 1 because you used a spell slot. So you have 2 spell slots right now for level 2, and every time you use one, you got to go down, so now you only have 1. Can you see how I changed that on your character sheet?
Changed it, but I see it registered.
Can you see that? How it says 2 here? Now it says 1. You with me?
Yeah, but I don't know how you changed it.
Just hover over it, and there's like a little up and down arrow.
Yep, got it.
There you go.
Okay. Understood.
Got it. You bet. All right, so you've got your dark vision. The two of you are going to stealth up. I think I still need a roll from Stanley for your stealth check. Oh, yeah. Very nice. So the two of you are able to make it about 80 feet up the hill, up to the nearest cart. And you kind of sneak up behind it. Mara, are you going with them as well?
No, I'm going to stay down by the I don't want whoever's up there to know there's a third person in the party if they get caught.
Got it.
So
you're
I'm gonna
hang
wait.
back.
But I'm peeking around the edge to kind of see what I can see,
Okay.
if I can see.
Yeah, roll a perception check from where you're at. Yeah, you watch as Marzen and Stanley kind of disappear into the darkness as they hunker down and sneak away, and you just kind of keep watch from the corner of Casimir's hovel as they disappear into the darkness.
I want to be listening for any ruckus that I can maybe assist with.
10-4. Okay, sounds good. All right, so Marzen and Stan, you make it up to the cart, and as you get up to the cart, you realize that there are a number of horses that are tethered to some nails that have been driven in, some stakes that have been driven into the ground, and they're feeding on various oats and so they're making a little bit of noise, the typical horse noise, and you can hear just this kind of steady drone of voices and some laughter interspersed, but it's not like it's a celebration. There's definitely kind of a quiet tone to it, but there's voices. Now you can smell campfire as well as you get closer. There are fires burning from within the central tent.
There's quite a few people in there. Any idea if they're Vistani? Can we tell what language they're speaking? What they're talking about, or is it or not?
At this point, you're still, I don't know, you're still about 30 feet away from the tent, so you can't really hear specific words.
Yeah, I would like to try to get closer then, enough to hear them.
Okay, so the most expedient path would be to move forward about 20 feet, 25 feet to one of the tent posts, but you would have to move through some of the horses to get there. Otherwise, you could go around the horses, and it would take about, I don't know, 50 feet, 60 feet to get to a similar spot, but closer to the main entrance. The main entrance to the tent, because you guys would know this from being here previously, you've been here twice now, is on the other side of from where you are right now.
Could it, rather than going to the main entrance, seeing the tent before, do we know, is it like canvas where we could get close to it even if we're not near the entrance, still hear what people are saying inside?
Yes, it is. It's a canvas tent, and it's kind of staked down. There's guy lines around the edges, and there are a variety of upright posts that hold it in position.
Be looking for some kind of seam, some kind of gap, or one piece of canvas meets the other piece.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Seeing
hear
if
them
I
too.
can get a look through any cracks there.
Okay, so you're going to kind of go the expedient route through the horses, and I would like you each to make a animal handling check to see if you spook the horses. Okay, you're able to kind of crawl and creep through the horses. Marzen, as you're going, one of the horses kind of notices you and snorts and kind of like stomps its feet a few times and kind of changes position. Stan, they don't seem to notice you as you creep up to the corner post of this tent. And now you can hear voices. You don't quite understand what the language that they're speaking, but you hear a number of people. There are, I would say, with your ability to sort of listen in, there's at least 5 people that are engaged in conversation, and there you can smell food cooking now that you're closer. And there is definitely some activity inside this tent.
Horses still have saddles on? They still have gear on them?
The horses are as if they're being kind of let out to pasture in a sense. So they're all the saddles are off. All the attack has been removed. They are essentially on their own for the evening.
I'd like to see if the saddles are around in case we. Can I see any of the gear, or is it all in the tent?
Both of you roll a perception check for me again. And then roll a stealth check as well.
I rolled twice. I didn't realize it went. Did I get perception in there? Yeah.
Stan, nice stealth.
Stan's on.
Yeah. Marzen, perception was at an 18.
And I got a 24.
24. Okay. As you are listening, you hear someone walk out and towards you as if they're coming in your direction. And they stop about 10 feet from you, not noticing either of you, and it looks like a man. He's dressed, you can tell as he gets closer, there's a little bit of light shining through a crack in the tent, and he's got some very Vistani-looking clothing on, and he kind of stumbles over to the corner post of the tent and starts to make a piss. He's about 10 feet from you. Doesn't notice you right now.
I'm gonna slit his throat. No, I'm just kidding.
Roll.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'll kind of take a look at Stanley. So I noticed Stanley sees them too. Then, so we both see him. All right.
You just hear him kind of releasing as he's taking care of his biological duty, and then he starts to buckle himself up and walk back in the direction that he came from.
What kind of history do we have with Vistani again? Do we have any bad run-ins with them?
Nope, just Casimir.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with I'm at the point where I just want to go say hey.
Well, you guys would both of your characters anyhow would remember that you actually had a very important run-in with the Vistani when you first arrived in this strange land. You met 3 Vistani travelers on the road, and you saved one of them named Boris. You actually came with Boris back to this camp prior to going to Valakai, and that's where you had actually met Casimir when Boris brought you back to this camp.
We had good relationship with Boris, right?
Yep, we saved them.
It's like it, yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think? Should we go in, say hey?
Yeah, one of us can, and one of us could watch, just in case if it turns sour quick, then we could just kind of signal if they seem friendly.
Yeah, aren't you the bard, the endearing one?
Yep, I'll go for it.
That's probably you.
All right, so tell me what you do, Marzen. Lay it out for us.
All right, so I'm just gonna walk around to closer to the front of the tent, and without going inside of it, I'm gonna basically call out and be like, "Hello, it's Marzen. I'm looking for Casimir or Boris. Is this I'm friend of the Vistani. Are they with you?" And just kind of wait for them. So not going into the tent. So I'm going to stand like 10 feet outside the exit.
Sure. So the guy that was outside just previously is just barely walking back in the tent when you call out, and he turns around and he goes, "Ah, what's your name? What's your name, stranger? Tell us your name."
Marzen.
And as you say that, another person comes out of the tent and says, and you recognize it to be Boris, and he says, "Ah, my friend, we were worried about you. Come in." And he ushers you back in, and the other guy looks a little confused, but Boris sort of just brushes him off and brings you inside the tent, where you kind of cover your eyes a little bit as you walk in. It's very bright. There are 3 fires going. There are a couple of different Vistani men sitting around the fires. Looks like they've just finished their evening meal, and they are drinking and basically resting. It looks like getting ready for the night.
Before I go in, could I call out like, they're like, "Hey, Stanley, it's Boris. It looks like we're safe here."
Sure.
Like, come on out. That way he could join us going into the tent.
Okay.
If he chooses to come out.
Can I hear any of this from where I'm at?
Yeah, we'll say that you heard Marzen call out that the coast was clear.
Okay. Then I'm gonna head up.
All right. So the 3 of you enter into the tent, and Boris says, "Please sit. concerned about your safety when we heard of what happened in Valakai. My God, how did you? Tell me, what happened?
Malachi was a mess. Came across a whole bunch of vampires.
That is what we heard.
Yes.
Oh, we met Strahd too.
When you say that, like pretty much everybody who's having side conversations just kind of stops and looks over at you. And Boris, they kind of stop and look, and then they sort of go back to their thing. And Boris says, "Please, please sit, come." And you all sit down with him around one of the fires, and there's another guy sitting there as well. And there is a woman that comes over, and she doesn't say anything, but she brings you a couple bowls of whatever broth soup that they were eating. She hands them to each of you, and Boris says, "Please, you must be hungry. You have come a long way. Now tell me, Strahd was in Valakai. What happened?"
He overran the city with vampire spawn. We were about to leave, and he ended up taking the bones of some type of priest. I know Mara comes. Yeah, Mara knows a little bit more about that. I was like, "You want to tell him pretty much what those bones meant to the place?"
Yeah, St. Andrew's Church, the bones had been taken, and the coffin maker had purchased them / conned a young boy out of them. Maybe he was charmed into taking them. I don't know. Anyway, vampire spawn made away with the bones, and Strahd came down and did something with the bones. My mind's kind of foggy about then. Something happened to me. I haven't had a chance to ask the guys exactly what happened there, but they were the bones of St. Andrew that were protecting the church.
This does not sound good for the people of Valakai. Tell me, did you find your friend that you were searching for?
No, we have not. And yeah, the Valakai seems to be lost to the Dark Lord.
My gosh. Tell me, also, did you happen to see or meet any of our Vistani brothers and sisters while you were there? We are still very concerned about their well-being, of course. They have not returned.
The only one that I recall seeing was I believe it was Anya. She was in the jail, and I made some eye contact with her, but we did not have a chance to speak.
She was imprisoned?
We couldn't speak privately. She was in the prison.
Oh my God, that is not good. You are lucky to have escaped with your lives, it sounds. These Vistani friends, my brothers here, have come from Tisser Pools to help us see if we can find Aragal and the others Vistani who live here in this camp. We are very concerned. There is much amiss in the valley currently. It's very dangerous.
First, when you left, did Casimir go with you?
Casimir left the day after you did, and I do not know to where he went. But he is not, I don't know if he's here or not. I have not been to his house to check on him, but...
No, he's not there. We stayed in his place. We needed to rest. We'd been up all night.
Indeed. Well, you are safe now.
I hope that's okay.
You will have to settle that with Casimir, but you are safe and you are welcome to stay here with us. We have lookouts posted around the outskirts of the hill, and we hope that what has transpired in Valakai does not spill over into the countryside. But that is a very hopeful position to take in these dire times.
What plans do you have for your next move? I mean, Valakai falling to Lord Strahd. I mean, it's so close. Is there any other place that the Vistani might go to seek refuge, or some other secondary camp where you guys could go that's not too close to Balkai.
As you talk about that, another man who's sitting at the fire turns and says, "We came from Tisserpool's 3-day journey, and we came here to see if we could help with finding the Aragal and his daughter and the others who are missing. But even at our camp, the mists seem to have grown thicker and more deadly. It was a very dangerous journey to come here. We are lucky to have made it, but we must find as many of the Vistani as we can."
Chris, God asked us to find somebody for him, a woman. Oh, I'm having trouble recalling her name. It started with a T.
Tiana.
Nice. Tatiana? Tatiana?
I do not,
Tatiana,
do
she's
not
got red hair.
recognize this name, but you might want to talk to Eva. She may be able to help you.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to Eva.
You would too.
Yeah, she could give us some type of guidance. We're pretty much at a loss of what we should do now.
And we don't really know her next move.
Indeed, she may be able to help you. Please, I will take you to her. And so this guy gets up and he says, "My name is Aranha, and I will take you to Madam Eva. Follow me." And he walks outside outside of the tent.
I'll go with him.
I'll go with him too.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
So he walks you over to one of the carts. This cart seems to be, it's different than the other carts that are encircling the tent. In fact, it's a little bit bigger, and it is set up as almost like a mobile tent. And so he brings you up to the tent, and he knocks on the side of the tent. Eva, are you awake?" And she says, all of a sudden you hear a voice saying, "Yes, it has taken you a long time to arrive. I have been expecting you, travelers. Are you ready to learn your fate?" And Araha pulls back the sort of canopy that's covering this wagon, and you see inside it's dimly lit with candles, and there is the smell of incense, and inside there is a woman who is sitting there. And let me see if I can. I'm going to go ahead and try to show you what she looks like. See if this works.
Eva.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. You guys are right here.
Hey, do I have an echo or anything if I stay unmuted? If I start making noise too much, just yell at me and I'll
Okay.
keep muting myself.
That's fine.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Oh, what a beauty!
Yep.
Loading.
yep. There
So
you go.
she's got this sort of bluish tunic on, a lot of like trinkets and jewelry dangling from her this headdress that she has on, and again she's got a little sort of this little cauldron in front of her. Not really cauldron, but she's got some things burning, incense burning in front of it. So there's embers that are sort of floating around and a lot of incense smoke.
But she's got a bad eye too.
She says, come in, sit. You will learn your fate tonight, my friends. Tell me, travelers, where are you from?
We are from Waterdeep.
Ah, very interesting. I've met another group of travelers from Waterdeep not more than 30 days ago. Told them
Yeah, we
they're...
heard about them.
Yes. Are they friends of yours?
I don't think we ever got their names.
Ah. Well then. What do you seek?
Guidance for a way out of this place, or what we should do next.
Yes. Guidance. Well, I can tell you that escaping the Valley of Barovia is very difficult. Yes, it is very difficult indeed. Impossible. As long as the Devil Strahd holds sway over the valley, over the land. Yes.
We ran into Strahd, and he asked us to find somebody for him.
Oh, he has given you a task you should not take lightly.
Yes.
Tell me what is this task that he has given you?
Looking for a woman with the reddest of red hair named Tatiana. We're supposed to escort her to Castle Ravenloft.
Oh, yes. The eternal quest of Strahd von Zarovich is to find his beloved Tatiana. Yes, and now you will help him.
Would we?
What choice do we have?
That is a question with many layers, of course, but the immediate answer is none. Unless, of course, your quest is truly to escape this land and return to your home of Waterdeep. That is a different path.
Our true quest is to do that, but also to find a person of our interest named Esmeralda. She comes from the same land that we have.
I know this woman. Yes, Esmeralda.
Do you know where she's at? We've been looking for her this whole time.
I do not, but I did see her at our Tisser Pool encampment not a week, 2 weeks ago perhaps. She came seeking counsel with me, and we spoke at length. She is here in the valley, there's no question.
Did she seem well? I mean, even well enough?
Do you know this woman?
We come from the same family of sorts.
She seemed determined. She seemed very driven. A similar quest to yours. She also seeks to escape by destroying.
And she's healthy? She's traveling?
She seemed healthy to me.
So she is planning on trying to destroy Strahd.
I believe that is her quest.
Would you recommend we find her? Do you think she would still be at the Tisher Pool area if we went over there?
I believe if Strahd has shown himself after all these years that she is somewhere nearby. Tell me, what did Strahd divulge to you about this Tatiana, his beloved?
Not much, just that if we wanted out of here, our choice was that he would slay us, or that we would find his Tatiana and bring her to him, and he would then let us escape this realm. He would pass his branches through back to our normal land.
Yes, indeed. That seems like a dangerous path, but providing Strahd with what he wants, that is the surest way to attain your escape.
Is he trustworthy? But I mean, if we...
You ask if the devil can be trusted. I think you know the answer to that.
Has he passed his... Have you ever heard of him granting passage to any other travelers to return to the realm?
I have not heard of this, but this does not mean it is not so. Strahd does many things. I am not all-seeing. I can tell you this, he betrayed his own brother, of course. You've heard the story.
I don't think we have.
You see, Strahd was not always of the undead. He was a champion, a warrior, a leader of soldiers. He came to the valley to vanquish the enemies of his father, King Barov. After vanquishing these enemies of his father, of course, he decided, unfortunately for the people of this valley, to stay here and make his home. He claimed the valley as his own and named it after his father. He named it Barovia. And he built at the center of the valley Castle Ravenloft, named after his mother, Ravania. He brought the Morning Lord religion to the valley, though he was never much of a religious man himself. He civilized the forest folk of this valley and brought them the salvation. But he also found something darker. Yes. He was corrupted. And when his brother fell in love with the beautiful Tatiana, who Strahd had been courting, well, he murdered his brother and attempted to win Tatiana. But she threw herself from the cliffs of Ravenloft to her death. She seems to kind of like lose her breath a little bit as she's telling this story. When Strahd murdered Sergi, his brother, he drank the boy's blood. And I believe that is when he attained his evil pact with the dark powers that granted him eternal life. Now, he is doomed to live in this valley forever, lusting and searching for his beloved.
Madam Eva, she threw herself off the cliff. She's dead. How?
There is a legend that every generation reproduces the soul of Tatiana in another as a reincarnation, if you're familiar with the concept.
Yes, yes.
And yes, it is possible now, today, that there is another that walks among us with the soul of Tatiana within her. That is who Strahd seeks. That is who you seek.
Wouldn't imagine that the reincarnated Tatiana knows that she's Strahd's beloved, does she?
That I do not know.
Do you know of in Order of the Dragon?
Order of the Silver Dragon.
Order of the Silver Dragon.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? We had a run-in with a creature that we thought was of Strahd, but it looks like he's searching to destroy Strahd, and he looked like he was undead.
This is a very ominous meeting that you had, for the knights of Argynvostholt were killed, murdered, destroyed by Strahd and his armies long, long ago. You see, many centuries ago, a rich nobleman named Lord Argynvost came to the valley. This was before the time of Strahd. Many knights joined Lord Argynvost to form the prestigious Order of the Silver Dragon, which you speak of. When Strahd's armies entered the valley to attack and vanquish his father's enemies, the Order of the Silver Dragon met him on the battlefield, and though they were able to win a few of the battles, they lost ultimately, as Strahd's reinforcements surrounded them and murdered them, hacking them into pieces. Now the pieces are strewn about the valley of Barovia. An undead host of knights. This is the lore, this is the legend. But it is said that his ancient stronghold, the haunted, corrupted Argynvostholt, is now home to the ghosts of his once brave knights. They are long corrupted by hatred and despair. This is all that I know. It is a legend.
Do you think that those knights, like the one that we ran into, would help us to fight Strahd if we were to get in a battle with him? Could they be allies?
I cannot answer this question. You must ask them.
You were told to go to Argynvostholt.
Very dangerous, but that is where you will find the answer to your question, young
Where is
Stanley. I have never been myself, but to the south.
What do you suppose we find there besides the undead knights?
That is for you
Imagine.
to discover. Now, I can tell you a few things about your future if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Madam Eva, one more question, please, about Argynvostholt, if that's all right.
Indeed.
Is
ask.
it near this winery we've heard of?
Ah, the Wizard of Wine?
Yeah.
That is a great question. Let me think about it for one moment. And she starts thinking about it while I look at a map. She's thinking really hard. And she's also lighting some incense as she's considering your question. Yes, the road to Argynvostholt is on the way to the Wizard of Wines, but it is hard to find. I have never been there myself, but you may want to seek a woman by the name of Jenny Greenteeth. She may be able to provide you with information on the right path to take.
Make green tea?
Green teeth?
Yes, she is on.
She really have green teeth?
Yes, she does. She is on the road to the Wizard of Wines, and you will see a sign for her. She has a small shop along the road. I encourage you to seek her, but be careful. Do not divulge too much information to her. That is all I will say. Now, the threads of fate weave us all together, connecting us to the history and the future of this valley. Its fate as a cursed domain of dread. And if you would like me to, I will consult the Tarot cards to see what type of fate will befall you, my traveling friends. And she starts to, she lights a little bit more incense, and she starts to lay out a couple of different cards on the table. So if you want to take a look at roll 20, I'm going to bring up a new page here.
This isn't going to cost us anything, is it, Madam Eva?
No, this one's on me. She lays out this table, and she has a table here, and she lays out 5 cards. She lays out a card here first, and then up here around the table she lays another card. She lays this 4th card at the bottom of this cross, and then she takes a moment, and you can see her kind of mumbling to herself, and then she lays a card in the middle. And she taps this card over here on the left, and she says, "This card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancients will help you better understand your enemy." And she will flip it over. The rogue. She says, the one who creeps in the shadows. Yes, I see a dark cavern where you will discover great knowledge and great power. Yes, yes, a dark cavern in the woods. Great knowledge and great power. All right, and then click off to the side, I guess, so that image disappears. Then she taps the card up at the top here, and she says, this card, the bishop, yes. Oh, yes. This is the card of powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. She says, the bishop, yes. What you seek lies in a pile of treasure beyond a set of amber doors. Great treasure behind amber doors. And then she flips this one over here. And she says, the Avenger, yes. This tells of a great weapon. A weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight, yes. This treasure lies in the dragon's house in hands once clean and now corrupted. A dragon's house, this sounds as if perhaps what we were talking about with Argynvostholt and the Order of the Silver Dragon. And then she taps on this bottom card at the bottom of the X, and she says, this card sheds the light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. She flips over, she says, the Executioner. Yes. A hunter of great evil wanders this land, seeking the salvation. Their path and fortune follows your own. And then finally she focuses for a moment in silence, and she reaches out and places a finger on the card in the center, and she says, your enemy is a creature of great darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. And she flips it over, and she says, the Dark Lord, of course. The beast himself sits on his dark throne. This is where you will find Strahd when you are ready to fight him. And then you can see visibly, like, she kind of gasps a little bit, and you can tell this took a lot out of her. It's not like she can just do this sort of thing. It actually requires a lot of energy from her to do it. And so she's visibly, like, exhausted, and she just kind of sits there in silence. And eventually she reaches over and she lights a second piece of incense and kind of keeps the incense going, and she's making some mumbling noises and that sort of thing. You can't quite make out what she's saying, but she's muttering a little bit under her breath.
Thank you so much, Madam Eva.
Madam Eva, I can Stanley.
The Executioner card, one who can help us. Is there any more detail that you can go into about that one, please?
I can only tell you what I've told you, but perhaps you already know the answer to some of this. You have been on your quest for some time now, have you not?
Yes.
It almost seems like
But I don't-
we might have met the Avenger already. Like maybe that was the hunter, that thing that we just saw not too, yesterday.
Be the case, Madam Eva?
You may
Could
have.
you
Order of the Silver Dragon.
Yeah, could you repeat the card for the Executioner? You said it was a hunter of...
A hunter of great evil wanders this land, seeking salvation. Their path and fortune follows your own.
Yep, That kind of sounds like that character that we've met. Then you said the Dark Lord will find him on his throne.
Yes, the card indicates that the beast sits on his dark throne, and that's where you will find the devil when you are ready to fight him.
Does Lord Strahd have any other location besides his castle that he holds secret, or was that pretty much where his throne's at?
That I do not know, but I can tell you that he is the land. He is everywhere, all the time. He commands the creatures of the forest, the beasts of air and earth. He commands the weather itself. He is the land.
Madam Eva,
Yes, my child.
I can see this is taking a lot out of you. We appreciate it a great deal. I have a question, if you have the energy.
Yes, please.
The bones of Saint Andrew, I'm not sure exactly what happened to them. Is that bad is that for this land?
Tell me,
They're not at the church anymore.
what happened to them? I do not know this. What has happened?
Guys, can you tell me what happened? I'm blurry about what happened at that place and time. Something happened to me.
Yeah, it looks like the Dark Lord or Lord Strahd charmed you in some way. You gave him the bones and he destroyed them. I guess it sounded like Strahd was friends with Saint Andrew. Andrew. Yeah, I think they were, and he kind of seemed like he was put at ease a little bit by destroying the bones.
Destroy the bones?
Well, you gave them to him.
This is not good for the people of Valakai, and that is likely why the spawn of Strahd now ravaged the people. This is not good at all, no.
The bones do for the people of Valakai? Did they offer some sort of protection?
Well, that would be a question that probably Mara could answer.
Of course they did. They consecrated the Church of the Morning Lord. I don't even know what to say that this happened at my hands. I don't even know what to say.
Madam Eva, could you think of a way to help Mara? Seems like she was strangely controlled. Is she still?
It seems as though it sounds like you were caught under the powers of the Dark Lord. He can control, it seems, people's minds. I do not know what the lasting effects of this are, but I would be wary. He has seen inside your psyche.
Can you tell if the Dark Lord can still... Does the Dark Lord know that we're talking with you right now because of Mara? Can you tell how far it goes?
I know not the answer to this question, but the Dark Lord is aware of many things. It would be of no surprise to me to learn that he knows that we are talking right now. Sounds as though you are on a quest for him, to find Tatiana. I am sure he's keeping tabs on you one way or another.
What do you suppose will happen if Strahd and Tatiana are reunited?
There are rumors that this is a way that Strahd will be able to himself leave the valley of Barovia once his beloved falls in love with him. But it must be a true love, not a controlled, forced union. It must be by her own choosing.
Think we should reunite them, like he asked us to?
If you do not, he will kill you for sure. Right as that happens, you just kind of hear Boris kind of knock on the, or not Boris, Araha knock on the side of the cart and says, "Come now, Madam Eva is very tired. You must let her rest. She has told you your fates, and now you must play them out. Come back to the tent."
Thank you, Madam Eva.
Thank you. It's great to meet you. Nice job, Dave.
So you file out back out of her little cart tent, little pop-up tent, and then back into the main tent of the Vistani, and rejoin the people that are sitting around. By this point, it's getting pretty late in the night, and some of the Vistani have bedded down and are sleeping in various dark corners of the tent. One fire still glows in the center of the tent, and Boris is sitting there with Araha, and they're sharing a flask, and just kind of they're sitting in silence. And you can sit down with them if you want and engage with them or each other or whatever you want to do, or you can also bed down for the night.
I would like to sit down next to Boris and Raha and ask them something.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'll sit there and I'll kind of tell them that I think we might be heading to see if Esmeralda is still in the I keep forgetting what it's called. Some tide.
Pools.
The pool, yeah, it's the place that they just came from.
Tisser Pools.
Tisser Pools,
Yeah,
yep. Then I guess what I'm asking them is basically to see if he could help us out in our quest. We talked to Madam Eva, and we have a pretty good journey on our hands, but we do not know the land. And to see if he has a map or a way where he could kind of tell us where things are, so we could roll up a map of Motor area.
Yeah, he doesn't have a map. They don't have any maps at all. But he does tell you that if your plan is to travel to the eastern edges of the valley, where Tisser Pools and the village of Barovia are located, you will be passing through the heart of Strahd's domain, right past the gates of Ravenloft itself. It is a 3-day journey over the mountains, and then across the Tisser, the river, and then down into the pools before reaching that are just before you reach the village of Barovia. So it would take you about 3 days if you are unaccosted, but it's very dangerous, they tell you.
That's the only thing I want to know. With that, I'll kind of go back to Stan and Marzen, kind of see what they want to, what their thoughts are.
It sounds to me like what we need to do is go to Argynvostholt if we're going to make any headway in this task that we apparently can't get out of.
And meet the green tooth lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
That are going to the winery.
Yeah, the green tooth. She's in the Wizards of Winery, though, isn't she?
No, she's not there. But what Madam Eva told you is that her location is on the way to the Wizards of Wines.
All right. Yeah, I think what we need to do is go to Argynvostholt too.
Should we look around, see if we can find that knight again? Is he going into, wasn't he going to go and tussle with the...
Looked like
he was going to go
vampire.
fight Strahd. Right there, though. Maybe we should try to find a weapon and stuff, and then go looking for him when we're kind of ready to go after Strahd.
Yeah.
And it seemed like pretty much if where Strahd was, that night was going to. So anywhere where Strahd was seen, we could probably just wait in the city, and we might be able to see him eventually too. Because I mean, he was on the way to the city as we're leaving it, searching for Strahd. So it kind of looks like he's basically, if Strahd shows up, this guy is going to too.
So,
well,
Argynvostholt?
yeah, it sounds that way. Could leave in the morning.
Well, I got dark vision going right now. We just woke up not real long ago. Could start moving tonight.
Yeah, I'm fine with leaving right now too.
I'm not, guys. I need another rest. Now that I know what we're in for, I need to prepare some spells. Some different spells. And for that, I need some rest. Also not fond of going out there in the dark and then having to go out in the dark the next night once we start on this sleeping during the day and traveling at the night.
You would be crazy to leave now into the darkness of night. That's what Boris tells you. Certainly you're joking.
That's a good point, Boris. Any idea where we can find some horses? You guys don't have any extras, do you?
We don't have any extra horses to give you, no. It would be very difficult to part with them, you see. This is all we have.
Understood. And you need them. I'm not real excited to go back into town with all the vampires. We could start walking in the morning.
Yeah.
The road to the Wizard of Wines and to where you seek is to the west. Valakai is to the east, to the northeast. And if you seek to head to the far east of Barovia, then you will pass by Valakai and continue through the mountains, past Castle Ravenloft, and then you will enter the eastern extent of the valley. So he kind of just lays it all out for you. And then he asks, he turns to you, Mara, and he says, "Tell me, you said you saw Anya. Was she in good health? Was she okay? Please."
She was. But I would be dishonest for me to not tell you that she was in the prison. She was locked up, and her trial was supposed to happen. Yeah, her trial was supposed to happen, I believe, today, but with everything that went crazy yesterday, I don't know what has happened. She may have escaped. I don't know.
It would be folly to go after her now. We must find Argal first and regroup. We must hide. The villagers will certainly want to kill us if they see us now. If they didn't already hate us. They blame us for everything.
Boris, can you tell us where you hide so we can find you if we need you?
We will hide in the forest, the Svalich woods. On the shores of... Well, we may be... It depends on what we decide to do, but we may be looking for our friends in Zarovich Landing, on the shores of Lake Zarovich. That was where they last went.
We'll keep this information to ourselves. Thank you, Boris.
Otherwise, you should be able to find us here.
Thank you.
Really, the only reason that you were able to find this place, well, it's a combination of Stan being able to find his way as a ranger in his favored terrain, but also because Boris brought you here originally. Like, he showed you where this place was. It's not necessarily on the map. So it is slightly a safe haven. Safer than other places.
Okay.
Well, let's do what we need to do to prepare and leave first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so the three of you find a spot to lay down. Boris provides you with some blankets. It's fairly comfortable. It's been a long day. I mean, the morning started out with the attack in Valakai, your battle with the vampire spawn in the streets. You escaped. You did rest for a couple hours during the day, but it's been a long day, and you find sleep comes to you very quickly. All right, so by the time the three of you wake up, the camp is active. There are people moving about, and there are fires going again, food cooking, and the day is begun.
Well, I think it's time to bid farewell.
I want to chit chat. I kind of want to chit chat with a couple of the people making their way around, see if anybody's heard of any news on Thalamir.
Sure, you can inquire. Boris nods his head as you talk. He's like, yes, your friend that you seek. I know nothing new to tell you about your friend. I'm sorry. We will definitely keep our eyes open.
If he shows up, you let him know I'm looking for him, please.
We will tell him we will bring him here, and we hope that he will be here for you next time you visit us.
Right, and we're pretty sure that we know where, I think we're going to the east.
Up to Argynvostholt.
Argynvostholt to the east.
Argynvostholt is to the southwest, right?
Yes, you will travel west.
Yeah, south and west, towards the winery.
You will pass over the Luna River, and you will come to a crossroads. Continue straight at the crossroads into the dark forest. There you will find, well, hopefully you will find the road to the south. It is very difficult to find, not traveled very often. It is an ancient road that has been almost forgotten.
So we're supposed to meet Ms. Greenteeth at her shop, and she'll help us find the road to the south.
I would be very careful around Jenny Greenteeth.
Is she careful by what means? Is she some type of like a witch or just a trickster?
Yes. All of these are true.
Is there anything in particular when we meet her that we should be wary for, like making a deal with her?
I would be wary of any deals, indeed.
Right. Stupid Emily's whispering herpes. No, they don't.
Any idea where the other crew of adventurers?
Yeah, we didn't see him in wow, I'm drawing.
Okay.
Valakai, yeah.
No, the last time we saw them was weeks ago, before we saw you, and they were headed to Valakai, so we do not know. I would assume that they have met with a terrible fate. Perhaps that is why you are now here. This is a very strange place.
Finding
Cool.
that out.
Yep. Are you guys ready to get going?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Ready. Okay.
Chris, any chance you got any arrows you can spare?
It looks like you have a full quiver of arrows there, my friend. Do not get greedy.
Okay.
Thank you, Boris. And I left a note for Casimir, but please extend our thanks for his hospitality in absentia.
Yes, of course. I will let him know that you are here.
Thank you.
I do have one quick question. Do you guys have, by chance, like a blowgun or anything?
Excuse me?
A blowgun? So I'm asking the Vistani.
I am not familiar with this. What is blowgun?
It's like a tube that you could put like a needle or a dart and just blow it.
No. I do not have one of those.
Alright, never mind then.
Thanks, Boris. Good to see you again.
All right, so the three of you set off back onto the roadway and begin your travel to the west in search of a long-forgotten ancient roadway that heads south to the haunted and cursed Argynvostholt. And as is every day, it seems, in Barovia, the sky is shrouded in a thick mist, and there is barely sunlight. It would be hard to even call it sunlight from what you're used to living on the coasts and living in Waterdeep. It is a dark day, but the weather seems good. It is cold. There's a bit of a frost outside the tent as you emerge from the warmth of the tent. You can see your breath in the air. It's cold. There's a chill. But you're in your traveling clothes and you have your gear and you set off on the roadway to the west. As you travel along, let's go ahead and get we'll say the first part of the day, we'll do a perception check. Why doesn't everybody roll a perception check for me?
And I'd like to travel with my natural explorer tendencies. Favored terrain, going through the woods.
Well, you're on the road right now. Do you want to travel through the woods?
Sticking on the road.
Did you want to?
Efficiency bonus is doubled.
I would like to
your
stay on
terrain.
I think the road's the
Be
safest
fast
place right
runner,
now.
I think.
Yeah, we don't know where we're going, and they said it was going to be hard to find. I don't think we need to add any harder work to that.
Yep, I agree with Mara.
So you're going to stay on the road? Is that the plan? You're staying on the road, guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, so you're traveling along the roadway, and you see, and Marzen, I guess, as you're walking down the road, you can see that there are, what you would expect in terms of tracks and in the pathway. You can see some horse hoof tracks. You can see foot tracks. It's hard to make out, and they're sort of old, and some of them are crusty and crumbling. Others are obscured by debris, and there is, like I said, a little bit of a frost on the ground. But as the day continues and things start to thaw a little bit, it gets a little muddy, and you're walking in the mud, and you notice that there isn't any real new tracks that have been made, at least not today. You're the first people to be walking on the pathway headed west on this road. And about midday, you probably take a little break to have a quick snack, whether that's just momentarily or longer. That's up to you guys. But you do have, I think you have some rations, correct? Okay.
I'm also good at foraging too, so I might keep an eye out to see if there's anything I can pick up to supplement those rations.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I don't have a whole rations left too, so
You don't have a whole lot left?
I have the wolf meat. Are we gonna count that as a daily per pound?
Which wolf meat do you have?
The one from our last hunt, because we got some processed and we get rest for our lodging.
Okay, so she gave you some of the processed meat?
Yeah, so I have my inventory was 30 pounds.
Okay.
And Ben, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh yeah, much. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Well, the mic was in my beard.
Okay, so you are sort of keeping an eye out, Stanley, just to kind of see if you find anything to forage along the way, and there really isn't much on the adjacent to the actual roadway itself, but roll a survival check for me. Oh, nice. Give me a second
Maybe
here.
when we stop for lunch, I'll munch a little bit and make a little bit wider circle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so that's a great roll. I think I can hear your dog's toenails on the kitchen floor or something.
All right, I'll mute.
Yeah, you're able to, just based on kind of poking around, especially with that roll, and you needed a 20 to actually find anything because it's kind of sparse here. But you find, we'll say you find the equivalent of 3 days rations worth of like herbs and berries and that sort of thing that you know to be edible. So you can add 3 days rations to your equipment list, David. Stanley.
Danny.
Cool. Nice roll. Okay. Anything else that you want to do while you're taking a quick snack? Any conversations you want to have while you're walking along the way? Feel free to have that.
Guys, can you tell me what happened with Strahd, please? Tell me what you saw happen.
Sure, I was still laid out in the street, not seeing much.
Yeah, you were unconscious.
I'm not a whole lot of help. I'm just happy to be alive.
This is weighing heavily on my soul. Please, can you please tell me what's going on?
Pretty much when you approach, you acted like you guys were good friends, and he asked you to give the bones to him, and you did so willingly.
Oh my God.
Yep, it kind of looked like you had a little bit of a thing for Strahd. It was kind of weird.
Oh, no.
Join the club. At least I don't love vampires. I just have one loving on me.
Yeah, she did kind of have a thing for you.
Yeah, she kind of did. I hope I don't run into her again.
Yeah, that Mara, as you consider this, you're right on the money in terms of how you feel. I mean, this is kind of tragic news for you. To know that you had a direct role in destroying the holy relic of this church of the Morning Lord.
And pretty much condemning Valakai too. Not to make you feel any worse, but
No, Marzen, sometimes you think you're funny, but you're not. This isn't the time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute here for a second.
I'm trying very hard not to cry right now.
So I'm wondering if you're still under that power and what that means for us.
Well, I don't think I am. I mean, everything seems
And you don't
normal.
feel like
It just
drinking blood or anything?
no. Do you? You're the one with the bite marks. Vampire hickey.
That's true. I'm curious how that's healing up.
We can take a look at it. If you need me to take a look at it, I can look at it for you.
Did first aid back at Casimir's place. It seemed like it was going pretty good, and I was able to quit oozing anyway.
Does it hurt?
Probably. Regular bite isn't any good, and vampire bite is probably worse.
Well, we'll keep an eye on you.
So we should probably try to follow Madam Eva's advice and play it by the book, especially if you want to level up.
Yep. Let's continue going on.
All right.
Well, guys, I'm going to tell you that I did prepare a spell, especially, knowing what we know about this Jenny Greenteeth. I did prepare a zone of truth, so, that's just something that we should keep in mind and if she tries to be tricky, we can maybe try to be tricky back.
Hey Mara, at some point, do me a favor and use the die tool on the left side of the Roll20 screen and roll a 1d100 for me. Thank you.
Did I do that correctly?
Yep, you got it. I'm not going to tell you what it means right now, but it means something.
Oh, crap.
All right.
All right,
so you continue on your way, and Mara, you're sort of coming to grips with this revelation, and in your own way, you're struggling with that revelation. But as you continue along the path, you come to an intersection in the road. You come to an X intersection, a crossroads, branching to the northwest, the northeast, the southwest, and the southeast. Ahead of you is a stone bridge, and below it flows the Luna River, what you imagine to be the Luna River.
Well,
I think
she said go straight at the crossroads.
and we're supposed to cross the river.
The river, it's about 15 feet across, and it's the bridge itself is about 12 feet above the flowing water below it. And there's kind of like a ravine right here where the river comes together. This is like the narrowest location in order to put the bridge. It makes sense that they put the old stone bridge here. The rest of the area is in it sort of disappears. The river disappears into the woods, not too far away from where you are right now. You also see a signpost that thrusts itself upwards at a strange angle on the other side of the bridge, but you can't quite make out what the sign says.
Well, there's something. Maybe we should take a look at that, huh?
Yeah, I think we need to cross it anyways, right?
Yep.
She said go straight at the crossroads.
So the crossroads are just past the bridge, just on the other side of the bridge. So you cross over the bridge.
Yep.
Okay. As you cross over the bridge, you hear a little tap, tap, tap noise on the stone.
Could I investigate it?
Sure. Roll an investigation check.
Awesome.
As you're on the bridge, are you on the bridge right now, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
so
kinda
you're on the
looking to
bridge
see.
and you're kind of looking over the edge of the bridge, and you can see thick spider webs on the underside of the bridge.
All right. I'll kind of look back. Do they look huge?
It's pretty covered in spider webs. I mean, all you see right
Right.
now are webs.
Is there anything stuck in the webs?
You can't tell with that roll. You don't see much. You just see spider
Hey.
webs.
Hey, Mara, Stanley, come check this out.
Is this something I want to see?
No, there look like spider web. Here's something's happened. I can't see it. Are you able to see anything?
You guys can roll an investigation check if you'd like. Oh yeah, nice. Mara, you look over and you.
I was muted. I want to bolt across the bridge and grab my bow and cover him on the other side.
Okay, you run across the bridge, kind of
I don't like the look of any of that.
busting through, and you get to the other side. Mara, you look over and you see. Not only do you see a bunch of thick spider webs, but you also see a giant spider that creeps up from beneath the bridge and climbs up onto the bridge. And I'd like everybody to.
Is it blocking our way?
Just give me a second here. I'm gonna ask you to roll initiative here in a minute. I'm gonna get a little map set up here first, so I can show you what we're looking at. Okay, so I need that. Give me a sec here, guys. Okay. So let me get you over here, Stan. All right, sorry for the delay here. All right, so you should see this map here. Marzen and Mara are on this bridge. Do you guys see this map?
I'm within, like, I can touch Marzen.
Still going.
Yeah. First of all, you guys can see the bridge in this map here, or
Yep. We're on the
I
page.
see a grid with a blue line.
okay. So the blue line are the edges of the river. The brown line is the bridge.
Yes. Yeah.
And I need everybody to roll initiative for me. So just select your token and then roll initiative, and it'll add it automatically to the. What am I looking for here?
I don't wanna. Marzen's ready to roll.
Okay. All right. So, Stan, you ran across, and Mara, as you look over, you see the spiders start to crawl up onto the edge of the bridge towards you.
Which one?
There's two spiders that you see emerge from below the bridge.
I see them both. All right.
Yep. And Marzen, it's your turn first, it looks like.
All right. I will take axe to the one right next to me.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna battle axe it.
All right. And what'd you roll?
Sorry, I gotta scroll down. And 8.
An 8 misses. So you swing with your battle axe as this thing kind of catches you by surprise, and you miss it as it kind of scampers towards you.
All right, then as a bonus action, I'll tell Stan, like, make sure you hit it good this time and give him bardic inspiration.
Okay.
So trying to egg him on a little bit and be like, hey,
Give me bardic inspiration.
Yep,
Stan,
can't miss this one. This one's huge as hell.
All right, that brings us to the spider, and the spider is going to attack you, Marzen, with a bite. 12 to hit.
Yep, miss.
Okay, so it snaps at you with its mandibles and just misses you as you kind of shrug out of the way.
All right.
That brings us to Mara.
I'm going to hit this one right here
Okay.
with the Sacred Flame.
Okay, so that's a dexterity save. Let's see. 8.
And that does not make it.
Okay.
I don't think. Hold on a second here.
No, it probably doesn't.
No, it's a really low number.
And then how much damage does it take?
Hold on a second. A 1d8 radiant damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll 1d8. 7, okay. So fire kind of rains down on it from above and hits it, and it starts to burn. You can smell the scent of burning spider flesh. Is there anything else you want to do, Mara?
That was my action.
Right.
I don't think I have a bonus action on that.
Okay. That brings
Run.
us to the next. Yeah, you have movement too.
Oh yeah. Well, then I'm going to try and hightail it off to the other side of the bridge where Stanley is.
Okay. So as you move away, the spider gets an attack of opportunity and it shoots a web at you. And I rolled a natural 20, so it definitely hits.
Damn.
You are restrained. So I'll go back to where you were.
Yep.
Your speed is 0. Any attack rolls against you have advantage. And if any attack rolls that you make are at disadvantage. You can attempt to, well, you can see here. I don't know if you can see the web attack that I just did, but you can attempt on your next turn to break free from the webbing, or you can try to cut away at the webbing. So that'll happen on your next turn.
All right.
Okay. That brings us to the spider itself, and it is going to bite you, Mara, now that it has you in its web. So it has advantage. 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Spiders.
Oof. Okay. You take 10 piercing damage and 10 poison damage.
Holy shit. Oh,
Whoa. It's a good thing I didn't get a natural 20 with the bite. It's a good thing it was with the... Yeah. Holy shit. All right. That's the spider's turn. Stan, it's your turn. You do have Bardic Inspiration.
Bardic Inspiration works for defense as well as offense, right? I get advantage.
Yes, because of the type of bard that Marzen is, you can use it for an attack roll. You can use it to increase your damage. And you can determine whether or not you're going to use it after you make the roll, but before you know whether or not the roll is successful or fails.
Okay. I want to attack the spider that just bit into Mara.
Okay.
The one on the upper right.
Yep.
Already has damage on it, so
it does.
I want to put Colossus Slayer on.
Okay. Why don't you roll to see if you hit it first?
Good plan. Longbow.
That definitely hits. So in addition to the 8 piercing, roll your Colossus damage. You sink that arrow deep into its carapace.
Where's my Colossus damage? That should be up here with, is that... That is Hunter's Mark. Okay, never mind. It was just labeled differently than I
It's
thought
below
it was.
that. It's called Colossus Slayer. It's 1d8. It's not Hunter's Mark. Those are 2 different things.
It should be up in my my attack with short sword, longbow.
Just scroll down,
Hunter's
look
Mark.
down a little bit below that. It says global damage modifier.
There it is. Yep. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, you nail it with your longbow, and it reels back from the impact and hisses.
I put Bardic Inspiration on there too.
Sure, you can put extra damage on it. What does he roll for Bardic Inspiration damage?
I think it's a 1d8 now. Let me double check.
Get it that 1d8. Just roll it out of the.
Sure. Yeah, it's D8.
Yeah, d8 at 5th level. Yep, so it's bigger now.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You rolled an 8.
Sweet.
Nicely done. That's clutch, because that thing dies, and it falls
Right.
off. It falls off the edge of the bridge and lands in the water below. And you can just
So
see it.
then-
You can just see it floating down as it floats past.
Dave, was the web a magical construct or is it a physical one?
It's a physical web, so you're still webbed, and you.
Okay.
How much damage did you
Okay.
take again? You took 20.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I'm just gonna
Oh
change.
shit! I
this.
hope she doesn't fall in the river.
She's basically stuck to the bridge right now.
Okay. All right, so I got
anything
extra
else you want to
attack.
do, Stanley?
Yeah, I got an extra attack. I want to shoot the other spider.
Okay.
I don't think I can move Colossus Slayer over there yet because he doesn't have damage on him. So I think it's just a straight shot with the longbow.
Correct.
Look at these rolls.
That's pretty nice.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
fine.
that's what I said. I can't talk shit to Stanley anymore. He's freaking Stanley
All right,
man
so
now.
you nail him. Pew, pew, 2 quick shots. You drop one spider, and you make contact with the second spider, and it hisses. And Marzen, you can see the arrow kind of pops through the front of its thorax. You can see the arrow kind of pops through, and this kind of green ooze kind of drips down onto the stone bridge in front of you. Anything else, Stan?
I'm going to stay put right there. I'll move Colossus Slayer over on that one and say,
Yeah, Colossus
turn.
Slayer is not something that you move around. You're thinking of Hunter's Mark. Those are 2 absolutely different features. So Hunter's Mark is actually a spell that you would have to cast. Marzen, it's your turn.
All right, I'm going to, since it's within 5 feet of Mara also.
Yes, it is.
All right, I am going to cast a 2nd level Discipline Whispers.
Ooh, okay. So you're going to whisper to it?
Yep.
Okay.
I will put it up here for you. 2nd level.
you're right, Dave. I was confused.
It's just any creature that's taken damage, isn't it?
Wisdom saving throw. Against what DC?
DC is 16.
6. So it fails. So roll your psychic damage.
Then
11.
yeah, it's 2d6. So should I just roll it one more time? Because I cast it as a higher level.
Sure.
Or is it?
Just roll
Yeah, there's
another
only
D6.
one. Hold on, that's 4d6. I think that's wrong.
You rolled 4d6, so it should just be 3d6, right? Or did you? What level did you?
Yeah, 3d6 second level. So no, it did mark it all the way.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So
you did 11 damage.
Yep.
Okay. All right. It looks pretty wounded, and then it has to also move away from you.
As far as it can. Yep.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15. Stanley, you get an attack of opportunity on it.
Oh!
I think we all do because it ran away from me too.
Okay. So let's start with Mara and Marzen. Why don't you roll an attack if you'd like, as a reaction on the giant spider as it runs away from you?
Am I prevented from doing a spell while I'm wrapped up in this web?
What spell would you like to do? You wouldn't be able to do any spell that requires a somatic component, but if it's just a verbal spell, then yes, you could do that. Let's see. So you do 8 slashing damage, Marzen?
Yeah, if a 14 hits.
14 does indeed hit. And actually, Mara, it might be a moot point because Marzen kills it. As it runs away, he kills it, and it drops.
Drop off the bridge or drops?
No, it just drops to the ground, and it's just laying on the ground in front of Marzen. And you hear a little bit more of a tapping on the underside of the stone of this bridge.
You guys get off that bridge. There might be more spiders under there.
No, Mara is currently stuck to the bridge with webbing on her.
Guys, I can't. Am I able to reach my dagger from the inside of this web?
Yes, you can reach your dagger. It's really tough though, because you're stuck in this web, but you can reach your dagger.
Okay, because
Go ahead, sorry, Mara. I thought you were.
Oh no, that's okay. I was just gonna try to cut myself out unless somebody else can. I didn't know if you could go ahead.
Well, it is your turn, Mara. So let's go ahead and.
Okay, then I'm gonna try to cut myself out here.
Okay, roll with disadvantage. Roll an attack with your knife. That sounded like a cork.
Yeah, it did.
I just bonked into my microphone. I forgot I was wearing it on my face.
Oh, I thought you were popping something delicious.
I thought so too.
That'd have been fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roll.
Do I have to click on my dagger twice here?
Sure. So the 9. What did I say? You start cutting on it. You start cutting on the webbing, but it's really thick, and you're not making a ton of progress. You can't move, but you can say something, or you could cast a. Well, no, that was your action. So I guess if you had a bonus action, you could do something. Otherwise, it's Stan's turn.
There's nothing really that I'm looking at here that I think that I can do with myself.
Okay, Stan, you're up.
All right, I suppose I'll go over and draw a short sword and try to help her out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. You're going to try to cut the webbing from her?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with your short sword. Roll to hit.
I don't think I should shoot an arrow at her. Probably not.
Let's not do that.
So you have to move over there to do that, Stan. Yep. So 5, you got it. Stan, you're making progress.
Excellent. Still not there yet, though, huh?
Nope.
All right. Is that considered an attack? Do I get 2 attacks?
Sure.
Okay, do it again.
Oh. That's not good.
What happened? I'm sorry, I wasn't looking. Oh shit! Yeah. So you're cutting and cutting, but you're not making any progress with the second version of your attack. At that point,
Okay. Let's see. How far did I move in? Can I move back off of the bridge?
you moved in 5, 10, 15, 20. You could move back 5 feet if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm going to move back 5.
Okay.
Stand the frick by.
All right, Marzen.
Standing by.
Could I know I investigated it once. Could I take a second look to see if, like, what's tapping?
Sure. You can use your action to...
Take a look at it?
Yep.
Just in case it's not a spider, it might be...
Do you want to use, like, an action to actually really look, or are you just glancing?
No, really look.
All right, so you could roll investigation.
Because I want to see if it's, like, maybe it's, like, a body slapping against the water or something. Investigation.
Yeah, so you get down and kind of peek over, and you see a swarm of spiders come up the side. That was the source of the tapping.
Good. At least I see that. I'm gonna start retreating. Are they close enough where if I retreat, they're gonna have opportunity on me?
Yeah, they're like right next to you.
All right. Say, guys, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I'd like to, guys, but I'm stuck here.
Yep. All right, Mara, it's your turn.
All right, so you said there's a whole bunch of those.
They're not giant spiders. They're tiny. It's a swarm of tiny spiders.
Like the kids.
Right.
Yep, the babies.
Oh, great. Okay. All right. I'm caught inside of this thing, so I don't know what else I can do. Because I can't hold on.
Yeah, you could try your daggers again.
I just wanted to look and see if there was anything else that I could do here, but it doesn't look like there is anything I can do.
Otherwise, you can use a strength. You can use a strength roll. Let's see. Yep, a DC 12 strength check. So if you want to roll strength, you could do that.
I would have, before my turn, I was going to, when I was saying that, I wanted to give her a bardic inspiration. That way she would have...
Ben, I can't hear you again.
I said before I ended my turn, because I didn't say I ended my turn yet, you kind of just move on to her. I wanted to give a bardic inspiration to one of them. And it would have been to, like, Mara to try to break through still more.
All right, I'll allow it. Mara, you have bardic inspiration.
Awesome. I'm going to try my dagger again.
Okay.
You said that's at disadvantage?
Yes. So 11. Do you want to use your bardic inspiration?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So roll a d8. You are able to cut through and free yourself.
I'm running, man.
I take opportunity.
All right, so Mara, you do have your movement if you'd like to move.
I'm trying to.
Okay. And there will be an attack of opportunity as you move away. Give me a second here. The swarm is going to try to bite you. Oh, and it does bite you. Hits for 19.
Man.
It does 12 points of piercing damage.
That's it. I'm down.
As you move away.
I'm down.
You're down?
I only had 10 hit points left. Oh, wait. No. I'm sorry. I'm hurting. I'm hurting big. I have 6 left.
All right. So, but you're able to move away. You can move away still. You just get attacked as you do. So you can still go back over here, wherever you were. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You could actually get one more space if you really wanted to go 30.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That brings us to the swarm of spiders. They're going to attack Marzen with a bite. 14.
Misses.
So they crawl up onto your legs, but they're unable to get through your leggings and wraps, and they're unable to get any damage in.
Still really creepy.
Yep. That brings us to Stan.
I'm gonna back up off the bridge and engage the swarm.
Okay.
I want to move first.
Okay. Go ahead and move.
I'm far enough away where that doesn't get opportunity.
Correct.
Good. They have been hit or haven't?
They have not taken any damage.
Put Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. So you're going to expend a spell slot. You put Hunter's Mark on him.
I need to be over here.
You gotta roll to hit first. 14 hits. So you did 5 piercing, and then you added your Hunter's Mark for 6 additional damage.
I want to put Colossus Slayer on him.
Oh yeah, you have a second attack. All right, so first of all, hold on, let me see this. This is 11. So you fire an arrow in, and you seem to do some damage, but not quite as much damage as you would expect. Is that 11? 6 is 16. Okay. All right.
Swarm and not
Now you're right. Now you can do the Colossus and the Hunter's Mark. If you hit. Oh yeah, that definitely hits. So you do 8 piercing damage, and then go ahead and roll your Hunter's Mark and your Colossus Slayer. Damn, Rangers are good.
Yep.
I love that. That's really cool. Nice. So that's what, 15 total? So again, you're doing some serious damage, but they're still swarming. There's fewer of them to swarm though.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Stan?
Kind of like to go over and get an arrow out of that one that's sitting on the bridge, but I'm not going over there now.
Okay. Marzen, you're up.
All right. I will swing my great axe at it.
Okay. Oh yeah, that hits. For 5 slashing.
Yep.
Okay. They're hurting, but they're still swarming.
All right, I'll just hold my ground in my turn.
Okay. That brings us back to Mara. Mara, you're hurting over there.
I want to do Scorching Ray.
Oh, shit. Okay.
They need a little fire. That'd slow them down.
They've pissed me off now. That's
nice.
so. I've got 3 of them that I'm throwing at them, so I'm gonna hit once and see what happens here.
Okay. Yeah, that hits.
And so that'd be 2d6 fire damage.
I'd already rolled the damage for you.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, that's right. So you have 2 more rays. Are you gonna?
I'm gonna. I just want to. I like seeing how each one hits them.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun.
There's one.
Yep.
There's the
Oh,
last
shit.
one.
Yeah, you fire 3 rays of scorching hot flame, just hurl them at this group of spiders right next to Marzen. Marzen, the heat just comes soaring over your shoulder, and it's hotter than hell. But
It's got
you
a tan
are.
on one side now.
Yeah, right, exactly. But Mara, you. Come on, there we go. You kill him.
Awesome.
Right.
Take that, you little shits.
Look at that. We each got one.
Everybody roll a perception check.
Oh, great.
Good.
All right. So Marzen, you hear more tick 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 tapping underneath the bridge. Very similar to what you just heard.
I'll go
Out
investigate.
of
No, I'm
there.
just kidding. I'm gonna
I'm gonna
Come
investigate
on,
again.
man. Let's go.
get the fuck out of Dodge, so I'm just gonna run.
All right, you're able to make it across the bridge and get to the other
That
side.
arrow if you can.
Yeah, could I pick it up since it's right next to me?
Sure. Yeah, you can grab the arrow out of this spider right here as you move away.
All right.
Do you want to try to go for the arrow that's in this spider over here?
I think that one went over the side. I think that one's in the river.
Oh yeah, that one fell in the river. That's right. Here, we'll go like this. Bloop.
I'll break the arrow as I'm pulling that. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so Stan, you get 1 arrow back.
Okay. Thank you.
And as you get off the bridge, you see another swarm of spiders kind of come up onto the bridge, and they don't follow you off the bridge, but they seem to just kind of fan out on the bridge, and then they sneak back and disappear back into the webbing underneath the bridge.
EP.
Stan, what type of
Okay.
arrows do you have? Are they like metal tipped?
Whatever I bought at the store at Seligals. It says
Oh
very
yeah,
something.
super
very good.
super nice arrows.
I'm starting to
Would they
run
be-
out of the regular ones.
Are they like metal or obsidian tipped or?
Yeah, they've got like a sharp obsidian arrowhead.
All right, so not metal then.
No.
All right, I was just trying to for future reference. So if I wanted to do like heat metal.
They're like a stone.
All right.
Oh, my standard arrows.
Those are like sharpened wood.
You need to get some. So I'll talk
Silver.
to Stan. Yep. You get some metal arrows. I could kind of heat them up. They're inside of the. Like if you
Okay.
sink one into something, I could use my heat metal, and we could do some major.
That'd be cool. David, seems like you said there was some kind of sign on the far end of the bridge that we can't read.
Yep.
Can we take a look at that sign now?
Absolutely.
Danger spiders.
Yep. So you look up at the sign, and the arms indicate a couple of different locations. And they actually, it says there's a couple of things that you don't recognize, but one of them says Kresk. Kresk. One of the directional arrows says Solenka Pass. The other one says Lake Bertok, and the other one says Valakai, and that's the one that's kind of pointing back towards where you came from. And then, so Kresk and Solenka Pass lead to the southwest, Lake Baratok to the northwest, Valakai to the northeast, and then another location that you don't recognize, Berez, to the southeast.
Is there none of them are pointing to the direction we're heading from? Yeah.
Well, there's only four ways to go on this road. It's a crossroads, but none of them say anything about like Argynvostholt.
Yep. So the one that the going straight, trying to get my bearings. The direction we're headed, what is it
Go
saying?
straight
Is
at the
that direct
crossroad.
Yep.
Yep, you were told to go straight at the crossroad, and that would lead you to, that would supposedly be in the direction of Solenka Pass and Kresk.
All right. Just that way we kind of know what's coming up or something.
It's freaky. Mario, want to cure wounds? Bet you'd
I'm
take
sorry,
one.
what was that?
You want to cure wounds? Would you like a cure wounds spell?
Yeah, I would like one. You have cure wounds?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
I just put the different names of the places in the chat for you guys. Go ahead and roll Cure Wounds, David, or Stan.
I think I did, didn't I? Meant to. Nope. So I don't quite know how to roll cure wounds.
Just click on it.
I tried.
So when you click on Cure Wounds, it says cast at what level? And then you have to select what level you want to cast it at. You can cast it at first level or second level.
First level.
So do you not see the box that pops up when you click on Cure Wounds?
That just got all weird.
All right, I'll take care of it. First level, 10 points of healing back for you, Mara.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. What would you like to do?
There, I see what.
Just keep heading down where we're going.
Okay, so you keep on going down the road. Everybody roll a perception check for me for the second half of the day here. Nice. Okay. You, again, one of the things that you really take notice of, especially you, Stan, and Mara, you also see this now too, as he kind of points it out to you, but there's just not a lot of fresh tracks in this area. The ground is damp and muddy, but it doesn't seem as though that anybody else has passed this way in some time. And eventually the day starts to wane, and it starts to become late evening. And you've been walking for most of the day now, with a brief pause here and there, but it's getting on towards night.
Oh, you think we should set up camp here somewhere along the way here?
Yeah, if you guys are ready to. I got my tiny hut spell.
Yeah.
We'll just find a spot right off the path where it's kind of a. I'll kind of look for a spot where it's kind of in a clear, like right off the path.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Off, like 10 feet away. Then I'm going to cast my tiny hut spell.
Hey, you brought a tent.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I'm going to do similar on a brief foraging expedition. Not real far, but I'll go and see if I can find us something to eat.
All right. I'll tell you guys to stay put real quick, though.
Are you casting this as a ritual, or are you going to expend a spell slot?
I'll do a spell slot
Okay.
just to make it go quicker.
Okay, so it's a 3rd level spell. Got it. Okay. So everybody stands inside as Marzen takes out this little crystal bead and says his power words, and this strange ethereal dome apparates over you, encompassing you and surrounding you.
Awesome.
All right, then I'll make it kind of dark, like from the outside, make it look black like a shadow.
Okay. So one thing that you notice is that you can see through this, but if you step outside, like Stan, when you step outside the dome, you can't really see into the dome. It's very dark and opaque. You can come and go as you want because you were inside the radius. It's a 10-foot radius. Now, are you guys gonna do anything else? So Stan, you're going. Why don't you roll a survival check for me since you're out doing some foraging?
Sure thing.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Find some stuff.
Yeah, give me a second here. As you're out and about, Stan, you see a small furry creature scamper in front of you.
I'll
Like
shoot it with my
maybe
bow.
like rabbit sized. All right.
Shoot
Go
it
ahead.
with my bow.
Roll to hit. Yeah, you hit it, and it's some sort of a lagomorph, some sort of a rabbit. You're not familiar necessarily with this particular rabbit, but it's definitely a rabbit. Big ears, big feet, and there's enough meat for the 3 of you to have one. There's one meal for the 3 of you, if you wanted to cook it up. Nice job with those survival rolls.
I get my arrow back.
Yep.
Cool.
And you make your way back to the clearing, and with your
I'm
quarry.
just watching out for any other baddies that might be roaming around, any other big spiders or strange stuff that's happening. And
All right, roll a perception check for me. Nice. Yeah, as you're walking through the woods, you hear like a clicking and sort of chattering noises coming from the trees above you and around you. Various pitches that you can just beyond, like you can't see anything, but your senses are pretty heightened. And as a ranger, you can sense things in the forest, and you just hear this weird sort of clicking and chattering.
different than the spiders.
And eventually,
millions of spiders in the trees.
What's that?
Aren't like millions of spiders in the trees, are they?
You don't.
It's different than that.
Yeah, you
On
don't.
the bridge.
You don't see anything. You just hear chattering and clicking and chattering as you're walking back to the campsite with your rabbit.
I'd like to go back in the tent and say, hey, thanks for the tent. There's some creepy shit out there.
Yep, it's nice and warm and dry in here. I kind of just doze off.
Now, are you gonna do anything with the rabbit?
We should probably clean that and cook it.
Yeah, you easily clean it. Like you're very skilled. You're a hunter after all, and so you easily clean it, skin it. You do a really nice job skinning it. It's pretty easy. You've done this many times before.
You guys think you want to have a fire now and cook it? You want to eat it raw? You want to save it for the morning?
I'll try something just so we don't produce any smoke and let us know where we're at. Do you have like a pot or something? Or I'm going to take my shield out and I'll heat metal on my shield and we'll see if it gets hot enough to cook the rabbit.
Oh my!
That way, just trying to do something to see if it'll work. without preventing a bunch of smoke going out and giving our location away.
That's a good plan. You can heat metal. He's thinking of doing a spell of heating up a shield in a little fry pan wok style.
Yeah, I want to try it. So if it looks like it's going to warp my shield or something, I'll immediately stop the spell.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to heat the metal, and it says it glows, to see if we could just cook this rabbit right on.
Yeah.
Without expending smoke and other stuff.
All right. So you set your shield down in the middle of the group, and you take out a piece of iron, and you have a little flame going, or you actually have to have some flame going. It looks like.
Is this it? I haven't clicked on it for a while.
Yeah, you should. There you go. A piece of iron and a flame. So you have to at least start up some sort of a fire to get that going.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could
No,
be like
right.
just a little candle.
Yep, exactly.
I've got my tinder box. I can find something to light up a little bit.
Yeah, you guys can produce a small flame. That's not a problem. And you heat up. You see the shield turn red hot. It's just glowing red hot. And you lay the skinned rabbit down on it. Roll 2d8 for fire damage.
All right. I forgot where's my roller here? Oh, here we go.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, you burn it. You burn the rabbit. It's cooked, but it's charred, like crispy. It's still edible.
Damn it, Marzen!
Hey,
Where'd you learn to cook?
you guys want jerky, right?
More like charcoal.
Crunch.
Hey, I just provided the heat and element. I didn't say I'm a chef. Maybe next time you could be flipping it. I'll just heat the metal up. I was gonna say a pan, but I don't have a pan in my, or a pot or anything in my possession. You guys, pretty sure don't either, huh?
I got
a mess kit, and that usually is like, I'm thinking about the one that I had in Girl Scouts, and there was kind of a bowl on one side, and the other side kind of had a handle that swung out and made a little tiny fry pan.
Exactly. But
Those cooler on the shield.
Yeah,
we'll do that
a shield walk is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. This was pretty great idea, Marzen. I like the idea. Maybe just take it back a few notches next time is all.
Well, I think next time we might just flip it over or take it off before it charges up too much.
That's classic. The shield walk.
Yep.
That's really funny.
Can you imagine? You should have scavenged some eggs out there. We got some rice. Start pulling a bag of rice next time. A little bit of oil.
Fried spider.
Oh yeah, we could have totally ate those spiders. We should have gone back, mess with all.
Do you want to go back and get them?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I don't know how much meat there actually was on those things.
The first two, they were pretty good size.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but they just kind of oozed. I mean, I don't know how much actual fleshy meat there is.
Yeah, we could have scavenged or poisoned. That was the only thing I was thinking. But we had a bunch of little guys coming after us.
I kind of envision it almost being like lobster. Like if you cracked open the carapace, there'd be like some stringy meat in there.
Like a big spider, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the exoskeleton?
Yeah, you'd crack open that exoskeleton and there'd be like lobster claws almost. Anyhow, all right.
That would be delicious. Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. You've got some food. It's a little hard to chew. It's very chewy, but nonetheless, you've got some cooked rabbit. and you're within the tiny hut. It's been a long day of travel, and you are tired. Are you going to have anybody stay up and watch, or are you just going to everybody crash?
We could probably take turns on watch. The whole point is like being off the road. At least we could see if anything passes by. And I created it kind of look like dark, like a shadow from the outside. So hopefully it's not that noticeable. What do you think? Anyone want to just take turns and take watch?
Watch first.
What was that?
Well, take turns and take watch.
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, I'll take last one. If you guys want to fight for the middle, 3 watches.
I'll take middle.
All right, so Mara, you take the first watch. Why don't you roll a perception check for me?
Good.
Okay, so the night is quiet. It's hard to see anything because you don't have any sort of illumination. There's no fire. You don't have dark vision or anything. So it's really just sort of you're kind of looking out into the darkness. Every once in a while, you think your eyes are playing tricks on you, but you're not sure. But you feel like you see something moving. But again, it's just so dark. It's really hard to tell. But nothing approaches the tiny hut that you're in during your watch.
Awesome.
And then you wake Stan up when it's his turn.
Yep.
Stan, you come to.
Stan.
I'm considering putting dark vision on. What's the rule for resting and spell slots?
If you use it right now, you would have like 8 hours afterwards.
Yeah, you will not have you'll have to use a spell slot that you won't regain because it's like the middle of the night. So you've pretty much used you're not really. It depends on what would happen, but we'll say that if you turn on you use a slot to turn on night vision, and then you still are able to maintain the next 8 hours of rest, you'll have your spell slot back in the morning.
How long is the dark vision? Is it 8 hours?
It is.
8 hours.
8 hours?
Yep.
Oh. We should, in the future, we'll just have Stan take first watch all the time. That way...
I wonder what it's like to sleep with night vision, or with dark vision.
Yeah.
Do you just see, like, the inside of your eyelids?
You see the glow, though? Like, you know how you get an eye check and stuff? And
yeah.
See it, like, sees the veins of his eyelid.
That would be weird. Anyways, Stan, you rolled a 21 for your perception check.
Yep.
Damn.
Okay. On watching things.
Yeah, I guess so. Mara and Marzen are snoring away, and you're looking out. You've got your dark vision on, so you can see sort of this gray landscape. You can see the road in both directions to about 60 feet. And you can see on one side the forest surrounding you. And at one point during the night, you hear that clicking and chattering again, and you see one of those giant spiders come passing by near to the dome. And it kind of stops, and you can tell it's just sort of trying to sense things, and then it just kind of clambers away, and it's a pretty large spider, and it's pretty gross, but it doesn't take any notice of the dome or you. You're definitely obscured. Toward the end of your watch, though, you see a figure suddenly standing in the roadway, not walking towards you, but suddenly you kind of turn, you're kind of scanning around, and you look over, and there's a figure standing there.
It's fucking creepy as shit. I had goosebumps right there. Kind of cold.
And with that perception check that you rolled, you like, it kind of freaks you out, and you're like, what the? And you look at it, and you look closer, and you look closer, and it seems like the figure has its head down as if it's looking at the ground. But then suddenly it seems to almost like notice you. But how could it? Because you're inside this dome, but it looks up at you. And you could swear that it's the face of Thalamir.
Oh. What do I do? I think at that point I wake up Marzen, elbow him a little bit.
All right. Could I look in? Do I see it too?
Well, you elbow Marzen, and what do you tell him?
Is that Thalamir out there? There's somebody on the road.
I'll
Got
look
the bow
towards-
ready. I'm
Roll a
also, I
perception
wonder
check,
if I can-
Marzen.
All right.
What was that, Stan? Sorry?
I wonder if I can shoot out the tent.
I think you can shoot. Let me see.
Yeah. Objects could pass through.
Yeah,
it.
you can yeah,
Magic.
you could shoot arrows out of the dome.
Or, putting holes through a screen, but that'll be fun too.
So I don't have dark vision. Am I able to see it without it?
You can't see anything.
All right.
It's dark.
I'll tell Stan and be like, all right. Is there a rock or like a twig or something in this area?
I mean, yeah, you just created this dome sort of on the side of the road, so there's twigs and rocks and things.
Right. I'll cast light on it, and I'll tell Stan to throw the rock towards it. That way, I can kind of see what he's looking at.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I don't know where it's at, and I can't really just throw something at it. But if you throw it out, I got light casted on it, and we're still in the dome, so it'll still not
Same
see
time.
us. Yep.
Okay,
Doesn't
so
really know
this light,
for
this
sure.
this will you post a light in the chat just so I can look at it again? But
Yep.
you conjure up a light on this little rock and you hand it to Stan. Stan, roll a dexterity ranged throw. So actually do a roll athletics.
Kind of
20-foot radius.
does this provide us any shelter, any defense? Because right now we could just do nothing and let it pass by.
Yeah, but I mean, if it is your friend, do you
If
want
it
to
is,
look
I
at
kind
it?
of want to know.
Yep. And here's the thing too:
But
is the dome, nothing can pass through it unless it dispels
Okay.
this thing. So unless this guy knows how to dispel this hut, we should be safe for a while.
There we go. Low roll Stan. Roll to 4.
Yep. So you toss this brightly lit, magically illuminated stone out towards where you see this figure, and it kind of drops far short of where you thought the figure was, but it kind of rolls, and it gives off enough light that it illuminates the whole roadway in front of you, and there's nobody there. There's nothing there.
Well, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Marzen, you got a watch?
Yep.
Got a light out there and everything.
Yep, that was my plan on my watch because these are cantrips. So I was just gonna keep casting something and throw a rock as far as I can out.
All right.
That way,
I'm going to
So-
sleep. That was
Alright.
weird.
that's my plan. I'm gonna draw in all kinds of shit, but whatever.
All right.
We'll see.
So Stan goes to sleep. Marzen, you take over. Why don't you roll a perception check for me?
All right.
Okay. All right, so Marzen, you keep creating this light on these rocks and tossing them out in various locations around. Every hour you cast it again to renew the illuminated pathway in front of you. And you do see that it tends to attract insects. Or you can see swarms of insects flying around in the night air, kind of coming towards and attracted to the illumination from this light. At one point you see 3 giant spiders come out of the woods and walk up to the rock, and sort of like bat it around a little bit. And then one of them shoots a web on it, and then they just walk away. And now the light from that particular rock, before it goes out after an hour, it's just kind of like it's muted by the web, all the webbing that's on top of it. But that's all that you see, is that your light seems to attract creatures from the forest.
All right.
Mostly of the arachnid type.
All right. I'll do that for just a little while, then I'll pretty much just sit there in the darkness unless I hear something strange, and that's the only time I'll throw rocks.
Okay. All right, sounds good. The rest of the night seems to go by uneventfully, and you all wake up in the morning. You have your spell slots renewed, your hit points are back to full, and it is what passes for morning in Barovia. And it's 10 o'clock, so I think what we'll do is we'll stop here. And we'll pick up here on our next adventure.
Sweet.